Born Eunice Kathleen Waymon, a concert pianist, singer, civil rights activist, and international icon, would go on to change culture itself with her peerless talent, fiery charisma, and unflinching political convictions. Despite growing up poor as the sixth of 8 children in rural North Carolina, Simone was classically trained from an early age, first with piano lessons paid for in part by her neighbors, and later at Juilliard. She eventually caught the attention of radio DJs with her debut album, Little Girl Blue. A cover of I Loves You Porgy from the musical Porgy and Bess transfixed one DJ in Philadelphia so deeply that he reportedly played it nonstop.
Porgy,
though her first album was a hit, Simone had signed away her recordings for just $3,000, which lost her over $1 million in royalties. The next year, she signed with a new label and released the live record Nina Simone at Town Hall, a collection of mostly covers, including a reinterpretation of the old American traditional, Black is the Color of My True Love's Hair.
Of my true love's hair.
While she was achieving stardom, Simone, ever the classical purist, was deeply unhappy playing what she viewed as inferior show tunes for mostly white, musically ignorant audiences. That would all change in 1963. First with the assassination of civil rights leader Medgar Evers, then with the murder of 4 young black girls in the KKK bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. Simone erupted with the song Mississippi Goddamn, a satirical show tune without a show, overflowing with the barely contained contempt for the all-too-slow crawl of racial justice that would completely shift the course of her career. Simone found herself revolutionized, finally able to mobilize the power that she had accumulated over the first few years of her career. As demonstrated with her crushing cover of Billie Holiday's iconic Strange Fruit, she started using her virtuosic control over audiences to move them towards the justice she and so many civil rights revolutionaries sought. It was also a period of extremes. In 1967, the same year her cover of the gospel song I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free became an energizing anthem for the movement, she had an episode backstage before a show and was diagnosed with what would later be called bipolar disorder. And in 1970, the year after Radical self-love hymn To Be Young, Gifted, and Black was released, she finally left Andy Stroud, her abusive, overbearing, cop-turned-manager husband of a decade. If it had been her choice, Simone may have officially retired in 1974 with the aptly titled record, It Is Finished. Its most telling cut, funkier than Mosquito's tweeter, finds her exhausted and disgusted once more. That year, she left the country with her daughter Lisa, moving to Liberia and escaping the performance spotlight altogether until 1976, when she was coaxed out of hiding to play the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. That meandering, hour-long performance would become another pivotal moment in her career, when she confessed it would be her last jazz concert. Her encore that night was a completely instrumental 7-minute rendition of Sinner Man. The next year, jazz producer Creed Taylor would convince her to sign with him to do another record. Baltimore was a bit of a disaster. Its title track features an exhausted, bored-sounding Simone, lamenting the decay of a poverty-stricken black city. Meanwhile, the singer's personal life was breaking down by the day. Though she continued playing live almost until her death, her shows were becoming increasingly chaotic and unpredictable. The title song of her 1982 French label release, Fodder in Her Wings, is a tragic piano ode to her own defeat by inner demons and an outside world that had failed her utterly. In her 1991 autobiography, Simone wrote at length about her father's determined struggle to support his family while still pursuing his own career dreams. Now, lonely and ready to check out of her perpetually disappointing world, she returned to that sentimental affection on her final album, A Single Woman, with a mournful, resigned cover of Papa Can You Hear Me from the Barbra Streisand movie, Yentl.
Can you find me in the night?
10 years later, following a battle with breast cancer, Simone would die peacefully in her sleep at home in France.